tourist from out of town was about to pay the bill, suddenly he noticed something strange. There was an expensive bottle of wine added to the check. He called over the waiter, demanding an explanation. He clearly hadn't ordered any wine. So why was there a bottle of 1982 Lafite on the bill? The man was just about to argue his case, but in the very next second, a grenade was thrown inside. In 2008, a series of terrorist attacks in Mumbai shocked the entire world. The attackers had secretly entered from Pakistan by sea. They had been fully radicalized by an extremist group. To them, human life meant nothing. Through the smoke, a man suddenly appeared. He fired 2 shots at someone who had just gotten up from the ground. Even innocent bystanders fell under his gunfire. Without hesitation, they walked straight into the restaurant. Then they raised their weapons and aimed at the survivors of the explosion. At that moment, a man hiding under a table trembled in fear. He was terrified of making even the slightest sound that might draw their attention. One survivor tried to make a run for it, but he was instantly targeted. The attackers moved like emotionless machines. Even after killing dozens of people in under a minute, there wasn't a hint of emotion on their faces. While the terrorists were still searching for survivors, the man shoved his girlfriend forward. Then he crouched low and ran for the exit. Luckily, the tables and chairs provided cover. That's how they avoided being spotted. Although they managed to escape, the fear inside him didn't fade. What he didn't realize was that the moment he ran out of the restaurant, his real nightmare had just begun. Pushed along by the crowd, he and his girlfriend arrived at the entrance of the Taj Mahal Palace Hotel. They thought they were finally safe. After all, it was one of the most luxurious hotels in India. Security should have been top-notch, but no one noticed that 2 men dressed just like the attackers had followed them inside. They looked around in awe, as if they had never seen such luxury before. One of them even murmured in admiration, but the lavish surroundings didn't distract him. He hadn't forgotten why they came to India. Upstairs, 2 accomplices exchanged a glance. Then, without warning, they began their mission. With their backs to the crowd, they pulled out AK-47 rifles. Without a single sign, 4 men believed to be from Pakistan started a massacre. They didn't care who their targets were. They didn't care about nationality. Anyone within range became a victim. A hotel staff member watched the horror unfold through the glass. His eyes were filled with fear and despair. But as an employee, he forced himself to stay calm. He began reassuring the guests in the restaurant. His position was only a few meters from the lobby. If he made any noise and drew attention, the consequences would be unthinkable. At that moment, the man who had escaped the restaurant fell right back into danger. He thought the attackers before were brutal, but he had no idea something even worse awaited him. Just a minute ago, nearly 100 people had filled the lobby. Now, only bodies remained on the floor. Hiding behind a pillar, the man didn't dare make a sound. He could only pray that they wouldn't see him. But judging by the attackers' movements, it was only a matter of time. Then a desperate idea hit him. Looking at his girlfriend hiding nearby, he gestured frantically for her to run. Encouraged by him, she made a move while the attackers turned away. But such a visible target was impossible to miss. Gunfire instantly followed. Not knowing whether she was alive or dead, the man collapsed in terror. Fortunately, the attackers' attention shifted elsewhere. Seeing no survivors left in the lobby, the 4 terrorists prepared to begin their next round of killing.